something outside of us created this game for us, this 3D illusory construct. There's multiple levels to it. Astrology is one of the foundational sciences, and it dictates so much about you, who you are, your personality. All of these energies affect us down here. The moon and its effect on women's menstrual cycles. Crime seems to spike, influencing us. Power that is influencing us. Now, some of the New Agey people will tell you, oh, it's all just the planetary dance that helps the human being to evolve. It's such bullshit, it's not even funny. When you really start to wake up, at that point you realize how much information you need to take in to begin to educate yourself, to broaden your awareness, your perspective, your base foundational levels of knowledge. None of it gives you that warm and fuzzy feeling. None of it alludes to there being some benevolent goddamn deity out there that loves its children and wants to see us grow. No, it's not like that. It's not like that, it's never been like that, and it's never gonna be like that with these groups of entities that have been puppeting us, manipulating the goddamn paths of our lives, influencing us, influencing our minds, our energies, and or, if we become wise to those things, then they use a different strategy of beginning to use and manipulate people in our lives to begin to fuck with us. The level of knowledge, awareness, understanding, and mastery of yourself you need to have to be able to dodge, bob, and weave all of this stuff so you can live a life that is free from the influence, the manipulation of these energies, of these beings. You have to possess a lot of knowledge. Why do you think they want us so stupid, so ignorant? I mean, look at the education system in the United States and the Western world. They're not trying to educate us. They're not trying to turn us into well-educated beings that can go out into the world and make the world a different, better place with technology, or whatever it is that we can do so that the next generation there's none of that involved in this process. What's here in the 3D is a meat grinder of slavery and war and death, destruction and abuse and child molestation and blood ritual and blood sacrifice. And people believe, they really believe, that there's some benevolent deity out there that loves us. It's just the indoctrination that's been handed to you. Because the evidence all around us and the evidence that is writ throughout history does not show evidence of that. These gods, it's a vicious, violent, bloodthirsty, sadistic, maniacal, burnt offering, requiring, megalomaniac, and all of these character traits that anybody down here on this planet that has awareness would say, that sounds like a psychopath. That sounds like a tyrant. That sounds like a sociopath. That sounds like a malignant narcissist. Entities, or God, the gods. This quote-unquote God was so sadistic, evil, and maniacal, it loosed its arch nemesis, Lucifer, Satan, the devil, upon the whole of its creation to buttfuck us all into oblivion for all of known recorded human history. Yay! Let's get on our knees and worship that fucking God. Oh, it loves me so much, and it just wants us to suffer so that we can learn. You see what I'm saying? It's fucking ridiculous. The long and short of it is, at least when you look at the story, we ate of the fruit because we were curious. We became aware. And in that awareness, it pissed off this thing called God, Yahweh, Jehovah, whatever the fuck you want to call it, the Trinity. And what did it do? That sadistic piece of fucking shit kicked us out of home, cursed us. Oh, by the way, this quote-unquote God that loves us told us it would put enmity between man and woman. And look at the enmity we have between men and women. This defies nature. It defies logic. It's a black magic curse doled out upon the whole of the creation. And Christians will get on their knees and want to suck that holy cow. Muslims on their knees, put their knees to the dirt. And Jews bob at that wall, taking that holy cow. It's obscene. It's repugnant. It's rancid. It's putrid. It's all of that times 1,000. And most humans are walking around in such a state of blissful ignorance. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing. It's mortifying. These gods, these beings, these things have been puppeting us, killing us, slaughtering us, using us as pawns for their wars. It's like, come on, people. Look at what it is we are and what we're capable of. At what point are we going to pick our heads up, pull the damn out of our ass, and begin to turn around and start swinging a sword, destroy what did this to us, put it down, put our boot on its throat, destroy it. And people who don't have the perspective, don't truly understand the nature of this reality and what is truly going on, will marginalize me, what I'm saying, because they're comfortable there. That's what makes sense to them based off of what they currently know. And most people are comfortable where they are, tolerant of everything we see going on around us, and nobody does anything about it to change anything, because people are so comfortable. They're drugged up. Hey, smoke some weed, man. They're legalizing it all over the place. They want you stoned and stupid. Drugged up, dumbed down. Then you got the pharmacological influence deadening people's minds to neutralize us, our abilities, our capabilities, our awareness, our consciousness, our thought processes. But, you know, if I need to be the crazy person in your head, if I need to be the weirdo, the angry man, extremist, left-leaning guy, if anything, this is more of a curse than a blessing. The ability to see through so much of this shit into what it is. I hate what I see. I hate waking up in this construct every day. I hate the way I feel based off of what I see. But oh, wait a minute, you're in control of how you feel. So let me go ahead and mindfuck myself into some place of happiness and joy, and it's all good and love. Meanwhile, I'm literally swimming in a toxic stew. But it's all love and light, and God loves you, and Jesus is coming back to save his flock. A flock of mindless sheep. As the veil comes off your eyes, and you begin to see the world for what it is and how it truly works, it becomes so abundantly clear that everything we've been told has been a flat-out lie. That's kind of a shock to the system. This 3D existence, it's pretty sickening. And enlightenment is not what you think it is by way of what the system and this mechanism has told us all. It's all bliss, and that's nothing about what enlightenment is. It's the falling away of the facade. It's the falling away of everything you thought to be true. That's enlightenment, aka awakening, becoming an awakened being. For whatever reason, people have been conditioned or fed this idea that this process of awakening was going to lead to some joyful, blissful experience of enlightenment, and that's just not the case. Think about this for a second. Buddha, everybody that follows that whole Buddha thing, has disengaged from the world, doesn't take action within the world to make meaningful change. All this spiritual stuff has been designed to just kind of confuse us all off into these little spirals of chasing our tails, going round and round, thinking we're going to find something outside of ourselves in this spiritual world. Some people go inward, but I'm telling you, there's just so much deception out there about this shit, it's not even funny. To see this place for what it really is. And people who are mind-fucked in their ego think they've got it all figured out, so they've got to just keep shoving down your throat that you've got it wrong because it's all love, man, or whatever kind of shit. Oh, it's all trying to teach you a lesson. It's this, it's that. There's all these things people will conclude because, well, they're supposedly spiritual, so they've got to have it figured out, and they've got to be smarter than you about it. I just see this everywhere. The amazing part is when you see it coming out of people that you know are 3 or 4 or 5 steps below where you're at, struggling to figure it out, and they're trying to give you the answer. It's just like, oh my God. The same could be said for where you're at by the people that are at levels above you. It's just like you'll never get what they're dealing with until you're up there kind of with it. This awakening process, there's nothing pleasant about it. I had to live the life that I did of suffering and pain and all this stuff to drive me to begin to analyze the equations that cause all this suffering and to look at all of this stuff at a deeper level. Most humans won't reach the depths of the contemplation of why and all that other stuff. The wars and the murders and the destruction and the tyranny and the disease and the famine and been bound into this goddamn human experience. Cycle after cycle after cycle, lifetime after lifetime, over and over and over again. We're being told and programmed it's the journey of the soul. And you have to be born into a construct where the species isn't a malignancy unto itself. These goddamn ever-present manipulations and illusions fucking with the whole of the species like it's a horror show with all kinds of ridiculous shit coming at humans. We don't live long enough, goddammit. I mean, my example alone of just me, I didn't begin to wake up until I was 33 years old, and I'm almost 48. Almost 50 years of life, and I'm coming to a point of realization of the grander thing that's going on here. And as I understand all of that, the level of knowledge that you have to have, how do you justify this to yourselves as you try to rationalize what this thing is? You're born, you live a life, you learn all the lessons you can learn through that, and then you die. You're wiped, reset, your consciousness is neutralized or dissipates, and another version of supposedly your soul comes down in here. And you do this lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. But no one iteration of supposedly you having multiple lives has any understanding, connection that you're aware of, comprehension of any of these past lives. You're just down here the experiencer. You're the one that was born into the war family and you went and fought a war. You're the one that was born into the poverty family and your kids were taken from you. But supposedly lifetime after lifetime, if you fuck up, you do bad things, you're putting into this karma bank. If you die and you get wiped and you get scrubbed and your consciousness sent back up into soul land, and another version or iteration that soul decides to peel out of itself, the spirit, send it down in here to experience yet another iteration or version of life, somehow has to suffer some karma from a past life. That doesn't make no sense. I'm not complaining right now in the process of saying it. It is the genesis of what has driven my questions.
the amount of suffering I've had to deal with in this world. So when you start life from that place and go through the horror show my first 17 years were, and then you get spit out into the world and experience the meat grinder that is, and the predatory nature of people and just how the whole system works, then you go on a spiritual journey and begin to realize what a shit show's going on out there. So what is this thing we're dealing with? Some goddamn grand cosmic Shakespearean play, and you just get to be the motherfucker that experiences it. All the world is a stage. Life is the grand goddamn cosmic play. You and me, we're the characters. We're the experiencers. We're the first-person player characters. And that little bit of free will you've got, that's your ability to ad-lib. Your birth chart, that's your script in this goddamn grand play. And if you want to ad-lib a little bit, that's where you get some free will. That's where that applies. But you use your free will to deviate too far from the path of the script that they wrote for you, that you supposedly agreed to before you came here, supposedly signed some sort of soul contract, but you don't have any knowledge of it, you don't have any memory of it, you don't have any instinctual fucking knowledge that any of this shit's going on, but you're just supposed to believe some grand goddamn deceptive idea that you agreed to it. Couldn't be that your soul was yanked back, or your spirit, or your essence, or whatever, was yanked back in, running through a cheese grater, formatted again, and shoved back through the vagina of whoever the f*** is that wanted to shit you the fuck out in this world. No, couldn't be that. It takes having this kind of a life to begin to peel away the layers of the shit we're told and ask deeper questions. Look for meaning that most people don't. Try to find meaning where most people wouldn't try to find meaning. Just this cosmic joke that's been told to us that there's this version of you in the higher realms that just sits up there in fucking higher realm land doing whatever higher realm stuff higher self does. And then there's this whole train of belief that your soul agreed to come here to be born and then to be abused, wounded, engineered and designed to develop in a very specific way. All of this wounding was going to come born into a world where that happens to all of us. And then your life's journey is going to be coming to the point where you figured out you've got to fix the damage that the goddamn generation before you inflicted upon you while you were developing. This happens to so many people over and over and over, generation after generation. This is what I mean when I said what put us here is benevolent, because this shit is evil. This is not conducive to the thriving of the species, conducive to the betterment of the species, or the resets that we get, the cycles that we're running, that, and we ultimately forget. We keep repeating the same behaviors, the same destructive shit, the same. Something is doing this to us on purpose, and I'm suggesting to you, in this ridiculous goddamn cesspool called 3D Earth construct, has caused me to ask why. And I can't see any real sense of it because, you want us to really learn? Well, make us live for 1,000 years and go through all the goddamn processes that you need to of education and then experience and learning from the experience and making mistakes and learning and growing. And we're supposed to have some sense of loyalty or obligation to this thing called God by way of us proxy-ass meat sacks down here that get to be whatever this 3D construct wants to throw at us. There ain't a goddamn thing coming to yank your ass out like Neo. None of us are Neo. None of us are there is no God coming to save you. Jesus isn't saving you. Aliens aren't coming to save us. The inner earth beings aren't coming to save us. Whatever it is, people believe is coming to save them. It's not going to happen. And what I've come to conclude, based off of my life experience, exposure to the spiritual side, my shamanic work, my interactions with human beings, my seeing with species, what's going on in the 3D, look at all the spiritual shit that's going on. I mean, on and on. It's just like, holy fucking shit, man. But the carrot before the face of the human is the American dream. Get up, go to work, pay bills, pay taxes, and have a house with 3 kids and a dog and a picket fence and 2.5 cars or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, it is really challenging to be me. And I still haven't figured out what it is I have to bring this goddamn world. My purpose, we all seem to have a life path, a life purpose. Yeah, my mind works in a very unique way, and I can see some pretty interesting shit that a lot of people don't. It is what I see, it is what I experience, and I am not a complete moron. So if it's not the whole truth, this does exist, this shit that I'm talking about. No wonder the gods don't reveal themselves. It's like, one of the things the gods feared about human was that of us rising to their level, and it lends itself to why we have all the junk DNA in us. And these people have figured out what we've done to them and what we created them to be, and they develop any power to become what we are, or to become like us. You feel me? They've done this shit to the whole of the goddamn species. Asian, African, American, Indian. They put us against each other. They keep us warlike. They keep us greedy, and all the things they do. And look at the shit human beings. The subhuman filth that runs this world. The malignancy. It's literally a cancer upon the whole of the human species. And it runs this world. How has the psychopath become the cream that has risen to the top?
I mean, it was intended for us to be in this condition. The only way it'll ever fucking stop is for us to do any goddamn thing about it and express and exercise the free will of the race of man. You know, let's watch some TV, gotta watch the World Series, wanna watch my football, wanna watch NASCAR, gotta drink some beer. Let's all smoke some pot to disconnect from the reality that we're all stuck in like a bunch of rats trapped in a maze, in a cage, in a petri dish, until we recognize that that's our current condition and do something about it, like little lab rats. Go Earth! Yay! All the light workers down here to help raise humanity to ascension. If I had the ability, if I knew how to do it, if I could find what created this shit for us, I would hunt it and destroy it. Because this existence, as far as I'm concerned, is the most repugnant excuse of an existence that you could create for sentient motherfucking life. I mean, look at what nature does to itself. All the way down to the goddamn equations that run this Mother Nature. You look under the rug of how beautiful that pretty bitch is. She's deceptive as fuck, isn't she? It sucks because you don't expect it. And when I looked under the rug with everything eats everything else, it's a pretty horrible, barbaric monstrosity eaten alive. Yay, everybody volunteer! Our throats ripped out, our guts ripped out while we're still slowly dying. Nothing in this world is what you think it is. Nothing is what we've been told it is. And any truth that you will ever find in this life, you will find it for yourself or you will not know truth.